They say the only thing you can count on is change. Well, I say they don't know anything. Because I know I can count on two things. Rainy, dreary weather in London and a fantastic tournament on Stars every Sunday with life-changing money for the lucky finalists. Well, here are those lucky finalists. It's a strong showing for Canada. 4 Canadians among the final 9. 7,289 players started this journey, and we are down to our final 9. We'll pick up the action at hand number 3. Thank you for joining us. This is your Sunday Million Highlight Show. I'm David Tuckman. And right out of the gate, we are going to get a raise to 2x. And when I say 2x, I mean 2 times the big blind. Blinds at 125,000, 250,000. Mukari, 6. Makes it 500,000 with aces. There's a 3-bet from JMC. Probably thinks he has a blocker with the ace. Little does he know, he's up against 2 aces. Mukari, by the way, from Finland. Got a ton of chips here. He's got 12 million chips. And the chip leader, JMC 8609, has 3-bet him. Sometimes it can be very scary for a player who's second or third in chips to actually be raised by the chip leader. I can't imagine Mukari messing around here. Probably going to 4-bet this. So much to lose when you're in second or third place as opposed to being one of the short stacks. There's a 4-bet up to 2.65 million. And if you're JMC, you might call this actually. It's about 1.4 million. Pot is 4.45 million. Getting more than 3 to 1, plus he has position. JMC, by the way, won a big tournament earlier this year at the Turbo Championship of Online Poker. And he's going to make this call. The pot is now 5.9 million. Once again, this is the chip leader versus the player currently in second place. Wow, what a flop here. King, Queen, Jack. Not necessarily a great flop if you've got aces, but Mukari is not going to mess around. He puts it all in there. JMC with a flush draw plus the gut shot. 10 million. Pot is 16 million. You're getting 1.6 to 1 to make this call. JMC makes the call, and this pot is 26.2 million chips. Right out of the gate, this is hand number 3 of the final table. And there's the spade. Oh, wow. What a tough way to get out there if you're Mukari. You're second in chips, and that's it. You're gone. Mukari from Finland, gone in 9th place, $11,297 richer. One of the many reasons why players who are second or third or even fourth in chips, sometimes they will avoid conflicts with the chip leader, and the reason for it is there's so much to lose. You could almost fold your way into third or fourth place, and you're talking about a lot of money. Mukari still takes home $11,200. But a far cry from the 6-figure payday he was hoping for. A raise from Papa. Well, JMC, the ace-5 worked for him last time. And he is going to 3-bet one more time. He is staying aggressive. I think he thinks this is a turbo event as well. I'm not sure I love this 3-bet, though. The problem with this 3-bet is that his opponent is so short-stacked that you're basically pot committing yourself. Now when Papa shoves, which is exactly what he does, JMC can't get away from it. It's 1.5 million more. The pot is 5.1 million. And I'm just not a big fan of putting all my chips in there with ace-5. Well, if you know you're going to flop an ace, doesn't make much of a difference. A queen and only a queen for Papa. That, my friends, is not a queen. The Jack of Diamonds on the river, and Papa Gregorio is gone in 8th place. The Australian takes home $17,493. So 2 hands in a row, JMC gets his chips in bad. But it works out for him. Both times he has ace-5 suited. and he is now up to 44 million chips. Really interesting dynamic at this table because he has such a massive lead over the rest of the table that you might see the rest of the table kind of try to climb the ladder. See if he can eliminate a few more before anybody else really gets involved. Spider Mike with 4s, and he's going to shove it all in. And obviously, JMC not going anywhere. Action on C-Star. Can't imagine him playing. Over to L. Rupert with 4.8 million. He's not going to play either. JMC makes the call, and it's 5s against 4s. And Spider Mike in really, really bad shape. Needs to see a 4 and only a 4. Running cards to maybe make a straight. He's in really bad shape here. 4 and only a 4 on the river. Not going to happen for him. And Spider Mike from Wellesley, Ontario, Canada, is gone in 7th place. Takes home $31,342. 6 players remain. Blinds now 150,000, 300,000. C-Star 912 with 2.1 million. Possibly thinking about shoving here, and he does shove. He's got about 7 big blinds. Might get called in at least one spot. My guess would be that JMC is definitely going to call in the big blind. You wonder if EP 20 all-in is going to make the call with the ace-4. I don't love calling off with weak aces. I think ace-10 is too strong a hand to fold, though, especially when your opponent has only shoved 7 big blinds. JMC makes the call. C-Star is behind, but he does have live cards. Queen 8-7 rainbow, nothing there for C-Star yet. Still nothing there for him. Needs a king or a 9 on the river. 5 of hearts on the river, and that is it. JMC eliminates another player, and C-Star 912 gone in 6th place. The Canadian takes home just over $45,000. 5 players remain. 4 eliminations, all eliminations done by JMC 8609. The Montreal native absolutely dominating this final table. And now he picks up aces. This is like Greg Raymer-esque. The 2004 World Series of Poker champion who just dominated the table. Oh, bad timing there for L. Rupert, who shoves all in with the king 9. And this could be another elimination. And it looks like it's going to be ace 10-5. Top set for JMC. And L. Rupert is now drawing dead. He'll be gone in 5th place. He's from the UK. Takes home just under $60,000. And 4 players remain. We are only 19 hands into the final table. And we've seen 5 players eliminated already. MVP, all in with his jacks. He's got about 12 big blinds. JMC now up to over 50 million chips. Kusin 3D makes the call with the ace-4. And once again, I said I don't love calling off with weak aces. In this case, though, I guess Kusin 3D figured, you know what, I'm ahead of my opponent's range. I can make this call. Unfortunately for him, he's way behind. King, king, deuce. Queen of hearts on the turn, needs an ace. And MVP is going to survive that one. He's up to 7.58 million chips. I think it was right about now these players decided to make a deal. JMC secured himself a lion's share of the winnings, but the other 3 players wanted to secure themselves something as well, and all of the 4 remaining players are now guaranteed 6-figure paydays. Kusin 3D all in. JMC's not folding this. He's not going to fold this now, but he's going to make the call. And the pot is just about 15.5 million. Kusin 3D in very bad shape. Ace 6 deuce. Nothing there for him yet. Needs a queen. Only a queen is going to save him. Kusin 3D from Poland is gone in 4th place. He'll take home $135,511, and 3 players remain. Well, if you want to play in this tournament for free, PokerStars gives you that opportunity. But you need the password, and that's coming a little bit later.
We are anticipation. Committed. Anonymous. Focused. Holding it in. We are poker.
Welcome back to the Sunday Million Highlights Show. I'm David Tuckman, and this is what it looks like on hand 31. It's a JMC runaway show. The train just not stopping. He's at nearly 57 million chips, and craziness. We're only at hand 37. Blind still 150, 300,000. These players relatively deep now. MVP. He's our short stack, and he's got more than 20 big blinds. JMC raises on the button. EP going to make the call. They share the 9. EP's got him out kick, though. And 9 does not fall, though. All clubs do, though. King, Jack, 5. EP a dominating favorite right now. He's got the higher club. He's got a gut shot. But he is out of position. And if JMC can stay aggressive, and you imagine he will, he might be able to take this one away. JMC has been absolutely relentless from the start of this final table, and I can only imagine it started before that as well. There's the continuation bet, 425,000. EP going to raise, the check raise with the gut shot and the flush draw. Back over to JMC, and he's going to give this one up, and EP takes it down. Blinds now 200,000, 400,000. As always, I welcome your comments. If you have any questions, concerns, you just want to say hi, you can tweet me. I'm Tuck on Sports. Get a raise here from EP with the deuces. JMC with my personal least favorite hand, Jack 7 offsuit, makes the call. Pot 1.7 million, King 8-8. Now, when you start with a pair and you see a paired board, you probably think you're good more often than not. That said, though, you've got to be a little bit wary, though, if you've got deuces. The reason being, obviously, you can get counterfeited very easily. 7 of diamonds on the turn. Obviously, you've got to be scared of overcards because that could hit your opponent. But at the same time, if a king or a 7 were to fall off, your deuces are worthless. A bet from EP, a call from JMC. 10 of spades. EP's got a check. Not much value in betting there. Over to JMC, and I'm not sure he can bet this either. Can he get called by worse? That's the question. He doesn't think he can, and he's got showdown value, and he takes it down. Still JMC show. He's at 58.5 million chips. MVP, EP, both at about 7 million. EP's going to raise. JMC makes the call. Once again, they share a card. This time it's the 5. But EP outflops him. Pair of threes now. He's going to check. JMC in position. Not much there for him. You'd imagine he'll bet, and he does. He knows he needs to bet to win this pot. And he bets nearly 500,000 chips. EP's going to check raise all in. Wow. That's a strong play. I don't know if I love it. I just don't know if you're ever going to get a better hand to fold. Are you going to get an 8 to fold? You might get an 8 to fold. You're never getting an ace to fold, that's for sure. Nonetheless, the play works, and EP up to over 7 million once again. He's going to raise with ace deuce. JMC likes to be aggressive with his weak aces, and you imagine he might 3-bet this. And he does. He 3-bets all in. The question is MVP going to make the call with ace-9? He does make the call. If you're EP, you got to get rid of it, though. He does. EP folds, and it's ace-9 against ace-3. MVP in great shape to double up. Queen, Jack, 6. Ace-9 still in control. And there's the 9, and that's going to be it. MVP is going to double up to over 15 million chips. Both players hit their ace on the river, but 2 pair for MVP, and he is back in this tournament. Oh, wow. You can see the writing on the wall on this one. Pocket jacks and ace-queen. It's all going in. Oh, wow, but EP shoves all in. Oh, this could be a huge mistake by him. JMC shoves all in. MVP is going to make the call as well. He does. We have a huge pot here. 19 million in the main pot. A whole bunch in the side pot. You can see the percentages. MVP a favorite, and if he wins this one, he could be in position to win the tournament. And there's the jack. Top set for MVP. 3 of spades, EP and JMC drawing dead. MVP is going to win the entire thing. He's up to 37 million, and he's our new chip leader. EP 20 all in is all in and all out. The Spaniard takes home $122,000, and we are heads up. Hand 51. Blind still 200,000, 400,000. JMC raises on the button. MVP makes the call. Queen 7-4, top pair for JMC, and a whole bunch of nothing for MVP. As always, when we play heads up, the button acts first pre-flop, but gets to act last post-flop. And it goes check, check. 8 of hearts, and MVP has picked up a straight draw. JMC also with a straight draw. An MVP is going to put out about 1 million chips. The only question is JMC going to raise here, or is he just going to call? Obviously, he checks the flop to play the hand a little bit backwards, get value from a weaker hand, possibly induce a bluff, and that's exactly what he's done. And he's going to raise here to 2.5 million. We know MVP is not going to fold. He's got an open-ended straight draw to the nuts. Wow, he folds. I'm shocked. I am absolutely shocked. How do you fold that? 4 cards out there, all 4 different suits. If a jack or a 6 were to fall, you've got the nuts with 9-10. And it was only about another, 1.5 million? Really, really surprised he folded that. Ace 8-7. And MVP with top pair. JMC with the open-ended straight draw. If a 5 or a 10 come off, JMC will have the straight, and I can't imagine MVP will see it. JMC checks. There's the bet for MVP. And how aggressive do you want to play this draw? The problem with playing this hand really, really aggressive is if your opponent has an ace, you're never getting him to fold it. Now, you might get him to fold an 8 or 7, but MVP is not folding an ace. Then again, I didn't think he'd fold 9-10. He makes the call. Pot now 6.5 million chips. Oh, and there it is. There's the 10 of hearts. JMC with the straight. It's not the nuts, but it is for all intents and purposes. And now it's just a question of, how do I build the pot? If you're JMC, how do I build the pot? How do I not lose my opponent? And he's not going to mess around. He bets 4.8 million into 6.48 million. And if you're MVP, you're probably thinking, man, all I can beat now is a bluff. Would he be betting a worse hand this strong? Would he check raise a worse hand and then continue to bet it this strong? But MVP has picked up a straight draw, and he hits the straight as well. And this is going to get chopped up. Oh, wow. JMC bets 11.2 million, and if you're MVP, it's an easy call. And he does make the call, and they're going to chop this one up. A little bit of a bad beat there for JMC. He gets the straight, but unfortunately for him, they chop it up on the river. A lot of spades out here. King Jack of spades versus 7-5 of spades. There's the raise on the button. JMC makes the call. Pot nearly 1.7 million chips. Jack 9-4, all diamonds out there. A whole bunch of nothing for JMC. MVP's got top pair. Obviously no diamond in his hand. JMC is going to lead out there for 450,000. A little bit of a donk bet here. See if maybe his opponent missed completely and he can take this one away. We can see the MVP is not going to go anywhere. At least not for that bet. Started with 7,289 players. We are down to our final two. 4 spades. Action on JMC. And he's going to bet 625,000. Kind of a strange bet. I mean, the bet, it screams value, but at the same time, you're never going to get a reasonable hand to fold. I mean, I don't think you get a 9 to fold. I don't think you get a jack to fold. And you probably don't even get any big diamond to fold either. I mean, you're really only getting absolutely nothing. Well, there's another diamond out there, and let's see if JMC can kind of represent. Tough, though. He's out of position. It's been a good year for JMC 8609. Once again, he won a T-Coupe event earlier this year. That is the Turbo Championship of Online Poker. And he's going to take a shot at it. He knows he can't win the pot unless he bets. He bets 1.6 million. MVP with 2 pair, but no diamond, and he gets him to fold. The triple barrel from our chip leader works. He's up to over 46 million chips.
We are competition. Aggression. Calculating. We are trapped. fighting back. We are heroes. We are poker.
Well, if this is what you were waiting for, here it is. Password, Sydney. You need that to get on the online Poker Show free roll. If you want to play in this tournament for free, we're giving you that opportunity. Once again, the password, Sydney. So the Canadian versus the Canadian, JMC 8609 in control right now. About a 2-1 chip advantage over MVP at. Blinds now 250,000, 500,000. Prize pool 1.457 million. Once again, stars shattering the guarantee. There's the raise on the button. You might get a 3-bet here. Nope, MVP is not going to 3-bet it. He's going to play it close to the vest. Queen 6-5. Well, if you're going to play the hand like this, you certainly can't fold when you flop second pair. There's a check, and certainly a continuation bet going to come here from JMC. $1.2 million, a little bit more than half the pot. Talk about a rivalry, by the way. MVP, he's from Toronto. JMC from Montreal. 5 of clubs on the turn. MVP checks one more time. If your opponent's going to bluff at it, why not give him enough rope to hang himself? Goes check, check. And the river's a 9. You might see one more check here from MVP. Probably not much value in betting, but if you're JMC, I think you can bet here. I think the way you played this hand, you might even get looked up by just an ace high, and you're almost definitely going to get called by a pair of 6s. And sure enough, he bets $2.5 million. It's not a bluff, it's a value bet. I love it. And there's the call from MVP. Nothing better than getting lucky and then making your opponent pay. Blinds now 300,000, 600,000. I see it all the time where players get lucky and then forget to bet. You've got to get value from those hands. Wow, MVP is all in. He's all in. He's not messing around right now. He's all in with 9-6 of spades. JMC makes the call. Pot just over 17.5 million chips. And JMC, the favorite. Both players hit a pair. JMC with top pair, though. There's a 6, though. 2 pair for MVP. He's not out of the woods. 1 card to fade. And he does fade at the 3 of spades on the river. And MVP shoves it in there with 9-6 of spades, gets lucky, and he's back up to over 17.7 million chips. We're going to jump ahead to hand 93. And MVP has now dwindled down to 15 million. JMC with just under a 4-1 chip advantage. JMC limps in on the button, and I have to imagine that's because of his opponent's chip stack. There's the raise from MVP. And JMC is going to make the call. Ace, King, 3. Might be some value to slow play this hand, especially as short as MVP is. He's got to get value out of this one. I'm not usually a proponent for slow playing your hand, but it might not be the worst idea. He bets 1.2 million, and he gets JMC to float. King of spades. JMC completely drawing dead. You might check this even if you're MVP. You know your opponent's aggressive, And right now, it's one of those situations where if your opponent's got an ace, he's going to bet. If your opponent's got a king, he's going to bet. If he's bluffing, if he was floating, why not let him do it? MVP is going to bet $2.7 million. JMC considering his options, obviously trying to think, can I make a move here? And he's going to try it. He's going to try it. So I'll give MVP some credit. That smallish bet by him on the turn induced this bluff. No real value in re-raising. I'm probably just going to call, but MVP does shove it all in, and that's going to get JMC to fold. Now, I know it's a lot easier for me. I'm in the booth. Always easy in hindsight to tell the players what to do. But this is one of those situations where if your opponent's got a king, he's not going to fold, obviously. And I guess you can get value from an ace, but the money's going to go in on the river anyway. Just on the off chance that my opponent is bluffing, I want to let him bluff me. JMC raises on the button. MVP's got the hand that he wants to see a flop with, and he's going to make this call. King 10-7, absolutely nothing there for JMC. MVP with a straight draw. Really anybody's tournament right now. MVP doubles up one time, the tables are turned. JMC bets $1 million. JMC really mixing up his bet sizes, keeping his opponent off balance. Sometimes he bets small when he has it. Sometimes he's betting big when he doesn't have it. Sometimes he's betting small when he doesn't have it. Very tough to get a handle on what he's doing. MVP is going to make the call. Deuce of clubs on. Almost makes you laugh. JMC, obviously a very good player, also running well. And he's now ahead with a pair of deuces. And he goes check, check. Five of clubs on the river. And you imagine MVP is going to have to bluff at this one. He does have queen high, maybe a little bit of showdown value, but not much. If you're betting this with queen high, you're specifically trying to get an ace to fold. Or maybe a pair of deuces. Not sure it's going to work, though. And it doesn't work. JMC with the great call. Pair of deuces, he makes the call. And he is back up over 50 million chips. Hand 112. It took us 50 hands to eliminate 7 players. And we've gone about 60 hands heads up. MVP not going down lightly. 9-3 deuce. I thought we might see some more action pre-flop. But in fact, these players playing it a little bit more cautious now. JMC checks. There's a continuation bet from MVP. We know JMC is going to at least call this. You don't flop a pair and then fold. He's going to check raise. And MVP shoves it all in. JMC probably thinking, oh, why did I do that? Little does he know that he's way ahead. If he's up against a 9, he's got 5 outs. And JMC's got to let it go. He realizes that if he's behind, he only has 5 outs. He can't make this call. And an aggressive play from MVP has him up over 27 million chips. And now up to 30 million chips. Quite the heads-up battle. It's pretty amazing. It seems like every Sunday Million, it seems like the final tables are made up of 7 or 8 different countries. And to have 4 players from Canada, really quite impressive. How about trip 8s for JMC and a flush draw for MVP? You can see that JMC is way ahead. 3-1 favorite. Pot, just over 3.3 million chips. JMC thinking, how do I play this? And he's going to lead right into his opponent for $2 million. Be very tough for his opponent to put him on an 8 this way. And you can see here, it's not a small bet. It's not like a little small, enticing bet. He's trying to get his opponent to make a move on him. Clearly trying to confuse his opponent, and it might just work. And there it is. He gets his opponent to make a move. MVP does have overcards with the flush draw. Little does he know he's up against an 8. Back over to JMC. And how does JMC play it now? Is he going to re-raise him or just call? He re-raises to 11 million. And now it's just a question, does MVP want to commit? Does he want to put all his chips in? He does. We know JMC is going to make this call. And this is a monstrous pot. 62 million chips in the middle. Hand 116. King of diamonds on the river. MVP needs a spade. Not going to happen. 5 of diamonds on the river, and that's it. MVP finishes in second place. He's from Toronto, Canada. Takes home 6 figures, $103,000. I don't think there was any doubt who was going to win this one, though. JMC 8609, he came into the final table as the chip leader and never took his foot off the pedal. He is our champion. He's from Montreal. Takes home $212,000. An absolutely phenomenal performance. I believe he eliminated 7 of the 8 players at the final table. JMC 8609 adds a Sunday Million to his already impressive resume. Once again, he won a T-Coupe event earlier this year. Well, as always, all the highlights here on PokerStars.tv. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, I'm David Tuckman. Reach for the stars.